Today's best music.
Magic 89.9.
Today's best music, Magic 89.9. Welcome to another round of interviews from home, everybody. My name is Migs Santillan, and today we're going local and talking to a familiar name over here because he's been on Studio 899 before, and we love him on the playlist. Welcome, everybody, to the Magic stage, the one and only Timmy Albert. How you doing, man?
Doing great, Migs. Thanks for having me. Shout out to the Magic fam. Love you guys.
Aw, I felt the love right there. Love the lights in the background, by the way. I want
Oh,
some of
thanks.
those hexagon lights. So, how are you doing right now, anyway?
I'm doing great. Everything's been really busy, but I kind of live for it. I'm really excited for everything. Yeah. So kind of
I'm
busy, but at the same time, just really excited. Looking forward to it. Yeah.
Man, I'm always excited to hear new music from you because you have this like very particular sound that I happen to enjoy very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, it's been a while since we last heard from you. I mean, you were on Studio 899 like in 2019, and it's been what, like 2 years since then. What have you been up to since you last came on Magic?
Okay, so the timeline, with the pandemic and everything, I kind of took a pretty long break from music, which is basically because I was working on my thesis also. So I was,
Ooh.
yeah. So I'm actually like officially graduating next week from Ateneo. So everything, was like really hectic, on the pandemic, online thesis and everything. So I was like, even everyone in the label knows this. I was like, I think let me just finish this thesis stuff and then I'll get back I'll get back to like all the music stuff. So everything was just, put aside for a bit, but things were kind of prepared already. I just wasn't in the like right mindset to really focus on releases. But right now, everything's I think scheduled out and it's really perfect timing. So now I'm really focused on that.
Wait, what? Sorry, what's your course? What's your thesis about?
Okay, so I graduated BS Comtech in Ateneo, which is a management communications course. So basically, my thesis was, my gosh, I don't know why, I can't even remember. But no, I'm kidding. My thesis was something basically about studies on like veterinary services in the Philippines and how we can improve that service during the pandemic, like how they can adjust and like cope and kind of take advantage of the situation, aka having online stuff for like vets, like stuff like that. So yeah, it was a fun experience, like having to interview a bunch of veterinarians on like how they work on their stuff and kind of look from outside to inside on how they can improve, like as a marketing student.
Dude, not gonna lie, actually, that's a pretty good thesis because honestly, I could have used this like last year because dogs come and go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I lost a dog last year, so we did
Oh.
need that at the towards the end of his life, and he passed away right as the pandemic hit. So I'm like, oh my goodness, how do you deal with this? But yeah, we're also talking, you said, to a legal management graduate of Ateneo, so I just got curious. Like,
Oh,
same
okay.
school, man.
I
School
like
of
it. I
management
like
over
it.
there.
One big
So back.
fun.
Yes, represents. So, okay, back on track over here before I get distracted with more thesis talk. So, you've released a brand new song over here just last week. It's called TOTGA, standing for The One That Got Away. What is the story behind this?
Yeah. So TOTGA is basically, in summary, it's a bittersweet song. It's supposed to make you reminisce and take you back to a situation where I kind of hope for people can relate, the relatability aspect of everyone has a TOTGA in life. It doesn't have to be relationship wise. It can be, growing up, just that aspect of I like summarizing it in conversational wise when you're with your friends and then they can ask you who's your TOTGA. You'll always have an answer. And I wanted to make a song that reminisces and you're thankful, you're grateful about the moments, even if it didn't turn out the way you wanted it. So you're kind of mature enough. You're in that mindset already, like after it happened, after the thought, after the fact, that you're grateful for the experience that you came across, like paths with that person, even if you're not with them. anymore. Yeah, pretty
I like
much.
how, dude, I like how you mentioned you can it can both be a person or like an experience actually. But
Hmm.
do you have like is this does this song have any personal roots in your life though?
Definitely. I wrote this song, I think, roughly 4 years ago. So
Wow.
it's been in the drafts for a long time. The lyrics have been like almost complete. Let's say I'd like to say the lyrics were like 80% complete for years now, but I just never uh personally I never thought that it was in the right place to release because 4 years ago it felt like more of a song that was like a patama or like, grudgy. And then over the years, just like I said, how the song is like in a place where you're grateful and in a place where you look back and you're mature enough. I think me myself, I've matured enough for it to be a song that is, in a light positive mood. So that's pretty much like why it one took so long to release, and also why the song has changed so much over the years in terms of like production wise, how the sound is and everything.
Okay, since you mentioned that the song was written 4 years ago, and you mentioned production over here, because the song sounds very synthy, very 80s. 4 years ago, what would the song have sounded like? Just out of sheer curiosity here.
The song is definitely more upbeat 4 years ago, and I think literally you wouldn't recognize it. Um, I- 4 years ago, I think the song was more like a, I don't know how to explain it, but like it was very loud and it was like my tone of like the vocals were more of like in your face. So it was kind of like that. You know how like the 1975 have certain songs like they're pretty much like shouting and like
Yeah.
you're feeling every line, stuff like that. So yeah, it was more like that before. And then yeah, as I mentioned, like I revisited it a couple months back, or maybe more, like maybe 5 months back, and then when I was really visualizing what I wanted to release for kind of like my comeback, right? I was like, I think this is a song. Like I just have to kind of change it up a bit for in, like you mentioned, it's like 80 cents and stuff like that. So reminiscent a bit of like that Love Bug, one of my songs, Love Bug. It's very similar to
Mm-mm.
that type of nostalgic sound, but it's more modern. It's more like it sounds closer to like the last Laney album, stuff like that. Yeah.
You actually did okay, so you mentioned like a few artists over here. Did they help inspire like the sound of TOTGA and your other releases?
Yeah, I was super inspired by Laney's last album. It kind of just reassured me that this sound is back, because sometimes as a producer myself, I kind of want to branch out and also like try out different things, but at the same time it was nice to go back to my roots, or something I feel like is very easy for me to do, like very very close to my heart, like the sounds itself. So hearing Laney's last album was very nice. Like it kind of brought me back 4 years ago. It kind of brought me back to that time, yeah, wherein I Love You So Bad was new and stuff like that.
Oh my
So just
goodness, yeah.
that whole like feeling in itself, it brought back that nostalgia for me, and that's why I put it in that song also. Totga.
I do appreciate that because you the moment you mentioned that, like I also got like I started reminiscing about like the Malibu Nights era already. It's
Yes, exactly.
been so long, my goodness. Like it feels just like yesterday I was playing all these songs in the early night, but anyway, like
Really
so
nice.
speak of reminiscing as well, something I noticed in the song, it starts with either a VHS or a Betamax, like, and film reel
Yeah.
sound. Why did you decide to add these in? Because, like, you mentioned reminiscing. There has to be a reason these sound bites are there.
Okay, so there was a time that a few years back that I was really into watching 80s movies. Like I was just watching it, and I think I think just looking at like 80s movies, the classic like couple scenes and stuff like that. I always felt like whenever you watch an 80s movie, the couples are so cliche, but it feels like you know them. It feels like you've seen them like somewhere in your life, just because of how relatable they are. So I kind of wanted that in the song, wherein there's some 80s homage, like some aspect to it, wherein you're like, oh, okay, it's gonna be like sounding 80s a bit, but slowly as the song progresses, it sounds a bit more modern with like the progression of the beats and everything. So yeah, it definitely was related to like how much 80s has inspired my sound.
Actually, I did notice that as well. I did notice it starts out very synthy and the production gets more and more crisp as the song goes on. I see that was intentional. Okay. I didn't even I didn't really
I
think
love
about
that.
that
I love
consciously, but
that you noticed that.
I was like, huh, this is interesting. Like it sounds like it sounds like how a home movie would look like if it were a montage. You know those things they show in like on
Right,
weddings,
right.
like
Oh
from
yeah.
childhood to
Okay, okay.
adulthood. But speaking of the 80s as well, you said that the 80s inspired your sound a lot. Are there any 80s singers though, or artists who inspire you as well with your music?
Oh, growing up, I listened to a lot of Phil Collins, I think.
Ooh.
And I always say this in like interviews, but like my friends always laugh. But I always say like honestly like Michael Jackson. Like it's such a safe answer kasi, but just the way that all his songs sound, like it's such a it's like a mood board. Like if you put it in a playlist and then you have Michael Jackson songs, it feels like it can always inspire you because of how well put together his songs are. So yeah, Michael Jackson, Phil Collins are a few 80s people, I mean 80s artists that I really enjoy listening to. And like if it's current, like Lainey, Joan, the 1975,
Ooh.
yeah, they really like form my sounds in my head also whenever I'm humming a new song idea or whatever. Yeah.
Dude, not gonna lie, that's actually a really good combination of like modern and retro artists because I'm not like seriously, Michael Jackson, that man had the ear for music. Like so
Mm-hmm.
the fact that you mentioned that his songs are so well put together means you know the music inside out. I mean, you're a producer, so you know exactly what's going on
Thank you.
behind the soundboard. So given all of this, TOTGA is already out there. It's your comeback single after a very long break. What is next for you? Like, what's any little spoilers or at least anything in the pipeline you can share with everybody?
Yeah. I think this is like my favorite moment nowadays because I actually have more in store and I'm not taking a long lull
Ooh.
after releasing something because I have this rep for releasing a song and then like waiting a few months, like 5 months, and then releasing another song. But this time, we have the music video coming out for TOTGA. I think first week of November, and then I have in November itself, which is next month, very soon. I have another single coming out, so it's gonna be
Ooh.
momentum wise. It's gonna you know there's gonna be some continuity to it this time, and I'm really excited because after that I'm gonna end up focusing on new songs, collaborations, hopefully next year. So 2022, I really hope I can collaborate with a bunch of people and just make good music and make new music for everyone. Yeah.
Wait, actually, that ties into my next question. Who do you want to collaborate with in the future? I was gonna ask, like, who would you love to collaborate with? So either you are already collaborating with someone and just not telling us right now because you want to keep it
No,
secret,
no, no.
or you've got who do you want to collaborate with for your next bunch of singles or your album?
Well, someone I have my eye on right now is definitely James Reid, which might be a surprising answer, but I feel like the way he's transforming his sound is really
Mm-mm.
exciting, and I'm actually a fan. Like I anticipate how he kind of like rebrands his music nowadays and how he branches out with different sounds like that you wouldn't expect him to do, which is why like hopefully in the future if our paths meet some way, like the scenario is good, then I'd love to collaborate with him. Of course I'd love to collaborate with Paulo, my co-artist, and you are also Paulo Sandejas, so
Ooh, yeah.
that might be a hint already, but yeah. Yeah, I just I feel like I'm at that moment in my career wherein I'm super game to collaborate now because my whole discography has been singles. I've never had that collaboration yet. So it's about time, give the listeners what they want, maybe some collabs here and there.
I think it's about time as well, man. Like a single doesn't have to be single. So let's see
Yeah.
if you get that future collaboration with Paolo or James. Hint, hint, universal hint, hint, make it happen in the future. So before I let you go over here, any words for your fans over here on Magic?
Of course. Fans here at Magic, I'd like to say thank you so much for, kind of just being there along the way of the journey. Like, I know who you guys are. I know I try and reply to all of you guys, and I really appreciate you all showing up when it matters, whenever there's a release or whenever you see a teaser and stuff like that. I really appreciate you guys hyping it up for me and keeping me excited to do what I do also. Yeah.
And there we go, everybody. That is Timmy Albert. Don't forget, TOTGA, his newest single, is playing every day here on Magic 89.9. Don't forget to vote for it at Magic 899. Make it rock up the charts and support local. Again, Timmy, thank you so much for taking time to be with us here today. And of course, guys, don't forget to congratulate him online for his graduation, batch 2021, baby.
Yes. Finally.
Seriously, online thesis. I can't even imagine how you would have pulled that off. Like,
Yeah.
going back,
Doing-
I'm thinking about my own thesis. I'm like, doing it physically was already like tough enough, but doing it online. Whew. In the meantime, though,
Yeah.
folks, again, don't forget to vote for TOTGA. Don't let it get away from y'all. And don't forget to keep on listening to us on Magic 9.9. Once again, folks, my name is Migs Santillan. I'm going to catch you guys again very soon. Reminding y'all to stay safe, take care, stay sanitized, stay awesome, and please get vaccinated. We are today's best music. It's Magic 89.9, baby. Bye-bye.